After Trump supporters were attacked at a rally this past week, Sarah Palin wrote, "Media infuriatingly, disgustingly, all too predictable, MSM doing what it does best, but we shall overcome." Palin included a link for an article about those mobs terrorizing Trump supporters. You can access that link right on the Mama Grizzly Radio Facebook page. And Sarah Palin on the road again. Palin promoting Hitting the Road, writing on Facebook, "This is the perfect time for a road trip. Our family has enjoyed many of them, especially in this bunkhouse on wheels. Memories to last a lifetime in this beautiful rig. You can make your own positive, indelible memories in this motorhome that we've enjoyed enormously. We've had to park our beloved Dynamax too far away from Alaska, so decided to let it go to others who have that same bucket list item we have, loading up the crew, hitting the wide open road, truly experiencing America." Palin then provides information on the Premium Coach Group. You can check them out through the Mama Grizzly Radio Facebook page. To see any of the governor's posts in their entirety, visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page, follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA, and check out sarahpac.com.
Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Colbert.
A tipping point is coming. I can feel it. The leftists and hard socialists in America are creating chaos and trying to put it on you and me. The Democrats have been pushing their agenda, misbehaving, lying, cheating, and wreaking havoc on the American people and our system of self-governance for decades, almost 100 years, basically. So a year ago, here comes this guy, Donald Trump, calling them out on their antics, saying he's going to stop it. He's going to build a wall. He's going to bring back common sense to the White House and the federal government. And really, for what seems like a second, everyone stops in their tracks. The political hoi polloi and pundit classes sit back, watching, laughing amongst themselves, not taking Trump seriously, thinking he's never going to last. So they kind of just let him go. They gave him more than $1 billion in free media time, and now suddenly Trump is the presumptive Republican Party nominee for president. But only the Democrats and socialists and political class aren't laughing anymore. We know this because now they're desperate. And the desperate do stupid things like make bad and rash decisions. The desperate lash out, resort to name-calling and violence because they cannot make an argument without facts. And the fact of the matter is our nation is worse off under President Obama than it has been in a very, very long time. You've got illegal aliens rioting at Trump rallies. I mean, for goodness sakes, where are the ICE buses? That's all you'd have to do. Bring out some of those ICE buses and it would clear all those rioters out. You've got ads being taken out on Craigslist, calling on this underbelly of society to get paid to riot at Trump rallies. And it's Bernie Sanders doing it and other Soros-funded organizations. You've got the lamestream media saying the protests have turned violent because of Donald Trump and conservatives. But I'll promise you, it's going to backfire on every single one of them. Because you and I, we know exactly what time it is, and we can see right through their BS. It's a farce of Democrat policies enveloping our nation. And we all see that we must do something, or our whole entire country is going to look like Detroit and Baltimore and parts of New York and the failing state of California. And we don't want that. Because why? Under Obama's economy, we have more healthcare jobs than manufacturing jobs. And I love the fact Trump wants to turn that around. We've got the worst job report in 6 years and almost 95 million Americans out of work. And there's Obama on the golf course. There's Michelle and Barack Obama taking an entourage and almost $100 million in taxpayer money spent on their vacations while they have been president and first lady. What you are seeing on the nightly news right now just exemplifies the criminality, deceit, lies, and failure of the left. Because what they're doing is taking what they can get for themselves, those few in power, and leaving nothing for the rest of us. They are raping the American landscape and the American people of their money, their time, and their self-esteem. Thankfully, we are watching what happens when this left agenda gets threatened by real common sense Americans saying enough is enough, and we are going to take over our government. I love that. This is why we left Britain, folks. But what we are seeing is that the left is going to fight hard to retain what little power and the purse strings and influence that they have before their time is over. I love it because Trump just might be the nuclear option we need to blow things up at the federal level. NSA, don't get your panties in a bunch. I don't mean blowing things up like bombs. I mean blowing it up, meaning it is time to not think like the federal government, but think like a businessman would think. And we know how desperate they are because you got Michelle Obama ashamed of waking up at the White House. I'd like to share with Miss Obama that there were Brits, Irish, Scottish, Americans, French, and others who helped build the White House, and yes, some slaves as well. So get off your high horse. She is so ungrateful. It's really sad. I feel sorry for her with such a bad attitude. But again, her attitude is the attitude of the left, so cavalier about the gifts that they've been given, that God has entrusted them with, so pious and negative about wealth and opportunity, acting as though they don't want it. Please, please, please. But the best thing you and I can do to fight that is to be thankful. God gave us thankfulness as a way to combat the enemy and keep our head and our heart in the right direction. Do not let these leftist crybabies get to you. Don't let their rhetoric knock you off your focus in what we need to do between now and November, which is when. These Democrats, these liberals are going to get the ultimate smackdown in November. I can't wait. Because together we are going to complete victory. We are going to win. I love it when Donald Trump says we're going to be winning so much we're going to be sick of winning. I want to win. Victory is awesome. And it is time to get rid of, just explode the lies and deceits of the left. Put them every spotlight and bright light on them. It's time to return to self-governance and common sense and those values that you and I cherish: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So look around you this week at the blessings that you have right where you are. And think about the fact you are an American. Give thanks for that. And get ready to kick a little butt in November. I'm Tamara Colbert for Mama Grizzly Radio. You can tweet me this week at Tamara Colbert, hashtag Mama Grizzly Radio. I want to hear from you.
Tamara Colbert in Texas. Tune in for more Liberty and Legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. Now our weekly commentary, Steel Resolve. Here's Sarah Steelman.
Thanks, Kevin. The jobs report this week wasn't just dismal. It was shockingly dismal. Only 38,000 jobs were added in May. Now let me remind you that the unemployment rate can be deceiving. It actually dropped from 5% to 4.7%. That is because unemployment is calculated by measuring the number of unemployed as a percent of the labor force. The problem is the labor force includes only people who are actively seeking or have been actively seeking a job within the last 4 weeks. And in fact, the labor force participation rate declined yet again in May. 664,000 people dropped out of the labor force in May. That's a lot. 94,708,000 Americans are not in the labor force anymore. That's a total. So consequently, the labor force participation rate dropped to 62.6%, 0.2% from April. This news is very disturbing for future economic growth. Additionally, within manufacturing employment in durable goods declined by 18,000 in May, with job losses of 7,000 in machinery and 3,000 in furniture and related products. This could indicate a decrease in durable good orders, which may indicate that the economy is starting to slow significantly. The uncertainty of the presidential election may be contributing to economic woes. We need an economic renaissance, starting with eliminating Obamacare and reducing the regulatory burden on small businesses. Maybe someday the presidential candidates will actually discuss their economic solutions instead of continually calling each other names, which gets us nowhere. This is Sarah Steelman for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tune in again next week for another segment of Steel Resolve right here on the Palin Update. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy and Steel Resolve, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook. And you can follow along on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Tamara Colbert, and at Sarah_Steelman. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. I want to thank Sarah Steelman, Tamara Colbert, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to John Coleman, and thank you for listening today. A special thanks to our sponsor, Narrowgate Security Agency. Visit narrowgate.com. The Palin Update is produced by Lena Anderson, the Andy L. Kramer, and Lori Ann Lewis. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.